Hello, I'm Sensei Alex Kukuyo. The title of today's talk is Duties and Obligations. Before we get into that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great too. When one decides they want to devote themselves to Buddhist training, there are many rites and rituals involved in that decision. One of them is the taking of the Bodhisattva vows, which goes as follows. Sentient beings are numberless, I'll save them. Delusions are endless, I'll see through them. The teachings are infinite, I'll learn them. The Buddha way is difficult, I'll walk the path. And these are beautiful vows and a beautiful teaching in whole, but they're also a bit overwhelming. If sentient beings are numberless, then by definition, we can't save them all. And how could anyone possibly even think we could, even if it was possible, save all sentient beings from suffering? Now, the normal understanding of this teaching is that through our Buddhist practice, through our training, we save all beings. Every time we sit in meditation, every time we bow in front of our altar, every time we chant or study sutras, we purify our body, speech, and mind of the poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance. Thus, we save all sentient beings by saving ourselves, and in turn saving all the people who interact with us from suffering. And this is a correct, true teaching. I think it's wonderful. However, I'd also like to offer a new interpretation. It's my position that we save all beings from suffering. We keep the Bodhisattva vow simply by fulfilling our duties and obligations in daily life. Now, we may not think of it this way, but we all have duties and obligations, which is, we have things we do whether we want to or not. Things we do whether we feel like it or not, whether we're in a good mood or not. We're tired from the night before, but we go to work because we need to earn money to pay bills. The dishes are gross, but we wash them because we don't want to live in a dirty house. It's cold outside, but we take the dog out for a walk because we don't want him to use the restroom inside the house. All of us, every day, have duties and obligations, things we just have to do because, frankly, they need to get done. And if we don't do them, then there's a good chance no one will. And it's easy to look over these things, thinking that they're unimportant, that they don't matter because they're just things we do. But it's my position that these things are the soil from which our enlightenment grows. These are the ways that we fulfill our vow to save all beings from suffering. Because when we fulfill our duties and obligations, we do them because if we don't, people suffer. If we don't go to work and earn money, then we can't pay our bills, and suddenly everyone in our household has to sit in the dark because we can't pay the light bill, or they have to be hungry because we can't buy food. If we don't wash the dishes in the sink, then we don't have anything to eat off of, and the house is dirty. If we don't take the dog for a walk, well, the dog is unhappy because he didn't get exercise, and we're unhappy because, he left a present in the living room. Our duties and obligations are our duties and obligations because if we don't do them, we cause suffering. Thus, every time we do them, by extension, we end suffering, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us as well. And this is important to keep in mind because we live in a culture, in a society that wants us to look over those little everyday things, those things that won't get our name in the paper, they won't get us a million followers on Instagram, but they're just as important as anything else we might be doing in daily life. It's also important to note that we do these things, they are duties, they are obligations, but they are also a choice. We make a choice to go to work. We make a choice to wash the dishes. We make a choice to take the dog for a walk. So if we've already made the decision we're going to do this work, why not do the work with the mindset? Do it in such a way that we appreciate and understand the good we are doing, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us. Why not use it to realize enlightenment? There's so much suffering in the world, so much pain, so much anguish. It can be overwhelming. But if we move from an external to an internal locus of control, not trying to end every bit of suffering that exists, only trying to end the suffering in our own lives, and then more specifically, only trying to end the suffering that can be ended through our duties and our obligations, through the things that we've already made the decision that we're going to do, our minds become more content. We feel more peaceful. We feel like we've done something with our time, with our lives. Because we're not just going through the motions anymore. We are going through our lives for the benefit not just of ourselves, but for every living thing. Amitabha.